Perfect, just like that.
I'll just go ahead.
Yeah, graphics 2 is going to be up for the first game. Go right there. Go to go. Yep. Go to the guitar just like that. No music. I'm going to have 2, 3. Wait for it.
Radio in the Canal Zone.
All right, guys, mic check. Okay, Ricky, mic.
Yep, I am ready.
Willie, mic check.
Yep, let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Okay, and go for it, guys.
All right, here we go, guys. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and 8 p.m. Canal Zone Time. Happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. Ricky, happy Friday, man. How you doing?
Happy Friday. Willie, 70 degrees out here today. Amazing weather for mid-January. We actually call it earthquake weather, and we did get a couple of earthquakes today off the coast. So we'll see.
Wow. It was in the 30s here in Tampa. So,
in the 30s. Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be cold like that today and tomorrow. Yeah.
Very strange. Well, everybody, welcome, all you viewers, friends, and family. As you guys know, Willie and I both born and raised in the former Canal Zone. Love to bring you guys every week our podcast, as we know it as the Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club, a podcast dedicated solely to the Panama Canal, its history, its rich traditions, which, by the way, the tree burns this weekend, and of course its people, aka Zonians. Well, anyways, guys, no more further ado, let's get this show started. It's a great show, the most fun show, I in my opinion. So let's get this show started with a toast.
Yeah, speaking of weather, it's 70. It's unseasonable, I guess, for San Francisco. And 30s is rather cold.
The show starts in 10.
Nice and warm in Panama, and I've seen a bunch of posts on people trickling in now for the last week or so because you're in that moment, in that season now before the Canal reunion. It officially starts next week, but it's like everything's over. There's the pregame, there's the warm-up, there's the get ready, and the tailgating and stuff, and then of course, and I've seen quite a few of those episodes.
Some of the pictures that Alex has been putting out show a few folks are already down here, and they are getting ready. But tonight, we have some
Yeah, absolutely. So, but it should be a good show. It is our third Friday of the month. We're going to do some cool Canal Zone dictionary stuff. We're going to change it up a little bit on that. Actually, we're with this new tool we're using, we're actually going to make it a little bit more interactive, a little bit more fun, and so rather than just come out and ask questions, because truth of the matter is, and I was thinking about this, Ricky, it's a great book, that dictionary. You start looking through it, and as you start reading definition stuff, just going through it takes you back to the zone, right? You start reliving memories and stuff. But we know a lot of those answers,
You will laugh. Let me give you a quick example. This is not part of our show, but there's a quick example. Banana paper. Okay, we all know what banana paper is, right?
Right.
Thin, light brown paper for wrapping bananas, especially those purchased at the Chinese garden.
Correct.
A favorite paper for young, roll-your-own smokers.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
You get those kind of definitions that only us Zonians understand exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, man. But let me see something here. Sheila said there's a background noise, so let me. I'm pulling it up on YouTube here to see.
Oh, it could be. Is it mine? Let me.
Well, I'm checking to see because if it's just to make sure it's not on her end, just to make sure. Let me look at something real quick. Hopefully it's not though, but there's music playing. sure I wonder if on this one it's doing it, but that's bizarre.
And who's telling us this?
Yeah, it's. Where is that music coming from? You don't have any music playing on that thing? Go to that music player because you were playing music earlier.
No, it would be under.
Up in the layers there, in the music. See if it's there.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, hold on.
That's part of our show. And while Willie's figuring that out, guys, I do have some. We ended up, we have some great sponsorship now, so we can afford to use paid arcades. What does that do? It just creates more technical problems for us. But let's get right into some of our announcements while Willie's working this out. I hope you guys can hear it, but this is totally important. All right, let's start with the Canal Zone reunion. As you guys know, like Willie mentioned, they are starting next Wednesday, just in a couple of days, later in the week.
This is bizarre. I believe they are. Hold on, let me try something here. Let me stop sharing here. Let's see if that does it because it is very strange.
Oh, now I hear the music.
You were playing that earlier. Jump out of the studio and jump back in and see if it fixes it. Because remember, you had that music on earlier when it came on. Hopefully it stopped here. Sorry, guys. What the hell that's all about? Yeah, it's on his end here. Okay. Hopefully it's fixed now. Let's go. No? What the fuck, man? All right, now I'm going to jump out and jump back in because
No, I think I got it. There you go. Is it gone?
I'm going to jump out and jump back in because Okay, yep, you did fix it. Okay, cool. We had a big lag. All right. Welcome, everybody. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m.
Hey, it's always
Holy
me,
shit,
guys.
man.
It's always me trying to touch every button I can to see if I learned something, and then I don't know what the heck I
All
did.
right. Well, we got it
Willie and I
fixed
are
now.
on for about an hour before the show, and everything is perfect that hour. Let me tell you, everything is perfect.
It did. We
All
did.
right,
We did
let's
sound
get this
checks
show
and everything.
going.
but
Jenny Lee, if
anyway.
you're out there, sorry for this, our technical difficulties.
It's usually not this bad. Trust me. It's a train wreck, but not this much of a train wreck. But anyway, nonetheless, it is what it is. The show will continue here, and so now, yes, we are a lot of people in Panama at the reunion. A lot of stuff going on there. Ricky, what last minute announcements do they have?
Well, yes, on the Canal's Reunion Instagram, their site there, they were announcing very important news because the big event, which in the past years has been held at the old, the Balboa Yacht Club, which they know as the Canal House. Well, this year, guys, is important, and we have said it's going to be there. Now, on Saturday, this is Saturday events. They're still going to have at the pool in the daytime, but at night, the Gran Despedida, where Shorty and Slim is going to be playing, guys, they're going to be playing at Mi Pueblito. That's where the last Ping Ding is going to be held. I think that's what actually they're calling it, the Ping Ding.
Okay.
And if you guys remember where Mi Pueblito is, for us old timers, my age group and above, if you guys remember going to El Rancho right off, you would turn right off 4th of July. Well, then just imagine instead of turning right, you're going to turn left, even though you couldn't. You would turn left, and then up on the Ancon Hill on the face right there. That's where Mi Pueblito is.
Okay, right on.
And it's a they did like a replica of old Panama towns and the old Canal Zone towns. So one is Afro. Is it Afro? What do they call that in Panama?
for the
all the people
Caribbean?
from the Caribbean islands that built the canal. One is
Sure.
to them, and the other one is
Afro-Antillean.
yeah, correct. And the other one is to the old Panama towns, like an
right on.
interior. But it's a cute place. They got some great restaurants. Well, that's where the event's gonna be, guys. Now listen.
Okay.
Listen to these news. Very, very important. Of course, this is the big one where everybody's gonna be there. Shorty and Slim's gonna be playing, and in this great place. They're gonna have food, and they're gonna have bars, and they're gonna have everything. But what they don't have, this is very important. They don't have parking. So the Canal Zone Reunion is doing everything they can, and they're doing a lot by providing buses to all the hotels that are participating in the reunion. The Marriott, the one in Clayton.
I would assume that the majority of people are going to be using Uber and stuff anyway.
Correct.
I mean, that really is the best way to go. It's super cheap. It's quick. They're available everywhere. And it really is the best way to go. And you get a hold of somebody that's a really cool driver early on, hook them up, man, and they'll maybe do it for you for cash as opposed to having to split their money with Uber anyway. But
I don't need to cheat, but it's cheap as heck anyway.
No, I'm telling you, that's what several people have told me last year, that they talked to the guy, hey, dude, I'll pay you X amount, and you know what? And that was their driver for the weekend they were there.
All right. So you can
Sorry,
carpool.
apparently Ricky works for Uber, so don't do that, Jim.
No, I'm not going to promote, rip off Uber on YouTube, bro. Come on.
Look at this guy. Okay.
All right, but anyways, the most important thing about, other than paying for Uber, is you got to buy your tickets online. You cannot buy your tickets at the place. This is very, very, very important because they don't have any cash. So if you don't have that fluorescent green wristband, you're not getting in. So make sure you buy your tickets online, right, before you go there. Now, remember, no freebie, guys.
Wait to tell everybody so they go out and buy green wristbands now.
No. I think when you buy your tickets, you get this this package, and you get this tote bag with it, with a bunch of goodies in it, and then in it you'll have that fluorescent green wristband.
Dude, I saw a video that Alex posted of them putting together the tote bags the other day. Man, it got all kinds of goodies in there, man. Some hats, they got some cool stuff in there, man. They're really, really hooked up, man.
Right, so buy your tickets online. Don't forget, because you don't want to miss this one, all right? And the last thing, nobody can give favors to get you in. Even my little sister's kind of running this, and even I can't get in. They're free. So, guys, remember, they are supporting 3 charities, right? A children's charity, a cancer charity, and a heart charity. So let's make sure we get those tickets purchased online. Now, Willie, before we move on to our next part, at the reunion, guys, there's going to be similar to what we give you guys here on this podcast. At the hotel in Amador, they're going to have these sessions, right? Where they're going to have historians and scientists and artists and community voices to talk about everything about the Canal Zone, just like this show. They're going to be talking about marine research and conservation. I imagine that's the Smithsonian people. Sure. Theater history. By the way, on Thursday you can go to the Guild and go check it out and participate in a comedy improv. But they're going to be talking about theater history, architecture. I wonder who's going to be doing that one. And, a lot of cultural heritage about the Canal Zone. So if you're not doing activities and you want to hang out and learn about the Canal Zone, make sure you hit one of these sessions up. Historians, scientists, artists, community voices, everything of that sort happening at the hotel in Amador. Yep. And that's what we got for the reunion, Willie. Now, yeah,
it's going to be a good time, man. A lot of people are down there, and a lot of people are heading down. I know a class of 86 is going to have a great get-together on Friday night at the, I forget, the Spinning Club. There's that restaurant out there that's right on the water. So that should be a good time. Looking forward to seeing some pictures on that.
I've seen that right there at the edge.
I wish I could go, but like I said, I had to make a choice between that and going to Toronto and New Jersey for the World Cup. Speaking of the World Cup, I did see where, things are starting to kick off now. It's the new year. You're going to start seeing some friendlies. Teams are going to start getting prepared. They're going to start scheduling games against teams that will play similar styles to what they're going to be facing, similar looks and whatnot to start preparing for them. I know that Panama just took off to Bolivia, I believe it was. That they've got their a friendly there. That in fact, this was the really good news about it. We saw earlier this week that your boy Kadir.
Kadir's on the team, so this game is worth watching. If you guys want to see a superstar develop, and
Yes.
he's Panamanian.
This guy is
$50 million player at 18 years old.
He did. He's playing in Brazil. He just signed. He was playing on their under 20 squad. Okay, and that's what really makes this kid special. Is that, at 18 years old, playing in not even in their first team, and he's already rated at about a $50 million value. And a lot of teams in Europe are sniffing around for this guy. He just signed another an extension till I think 2029 with that team, but he was in a press conference talking about how excited he is to play for Panama. And that's the big deal because Brazil was courting him. He hadn't played in the senior level yet. So, according to FIFA rules, if you haven't played for your country on the senior level, you can play in the U15 to, the under 15 to under 17 to under 19s, etc. But if you haven't played on the senior squad yet, you can switch and play for a different country, depending on eligibility rules. So this kid was eligible to play for Brazil, and he was wanted by Brazil, which, knowing what you know about soccer, Brazil is a soccer machine. They just churn out, hundreds of superstars a year, and yet they wanted this guy to come and play in Brazil. That's the level of play that this guy has, and so should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for Panama, and now we're going to start seeing their preparations. Start seeing some of their players, because what they're doing now, They qualified in November, and so they have a pretty decent idea of what their squad's going to be. But of course, you want to evaluate some players. Maybe somebody that was on the bubble back in November that didn't make it for that squad, and suddenly is having a great season in Europe or in South America or wherever. They may get their shot here, during some of these friendlies. So, if you're going to be following Panama for the World Cup, like Ricky said, this is a good time to start watching them
Check it out tomorrow. Find out
identify some of the players there and see who they are and start getting used to their style and just start supporting Panama, because it's around the corner, man. I'm excited for it, man. It's gonna be a good time,
Yeah, Willie, one thing about our show, right? We bring on teachers, we bring on football coaches, we bring on everybody, and one of the we also bring on a lot of music people. That write great music, international music, with James Slater and Aska and Cage 9 and a whole bunch. But there's another talent coming out of the Canal Zone, and that's the people that know how to write. Now we've had Talkerman on recently, and he's one of the Zonian authors out there. But another one that we like to talk about tonight is Jenny Lee Szymanski. Jenny Lee was born and raised in the Canal Zone. I believe she's a class of 91, maybe 92. I should have asked her, and I should know this, by the way. But she wrote a book, everybody out there, and a book about the Canal Zone. It's a book written, and Willie can help out a lot here. It's a book written through the eyes of her son, looking at the world after his grandfather passed. So the book is about all the things that are traditional in the way we grew up in the Canal Zone, and then Willie did a little research and a little analysis on it, and he's going to pop that up here in a minute. But anyways, the book is written by Jenny Lee. Jenny Lee is the daughter of Anna Opal. We all know Anna. She is a true Zonian. They lived in the Punch Bowl area up there in Ancon, on top of the hill. Jenny Lee is a graduate of Radford University from Virginia. And by the way, her mom, Anna Opal, is a reporter for the Canal Record, guys. So if you want to check her out and the stuff she writes about, make sure you check out the records, and you'll see her reporting of Panama.
Yeah,
So,
and
Willie,
she
what do we
actually
got?
has real quick, Wiki. She has a website. It's jennyleewrites.com. Okay, and so go on there. You can get the book there. Again, she's another friend of ours, a Zonian that it's put out a book, and it's an interesting book. It's something that occurs to all of us. It impacts all of us at some point or another in our lives, and and if you have children and grandchildren and all those things, it's something maybe worthwhile looking at if you've gone through something like this. But congrats, Jenny Lee, on your on your new book. Hoping the best for you. Definitely check it out, and she can go to their website, jennylee.com, jennyleewrites.com. And also, it's on Amazon. You can check it out there as well. And there she is throwing a comment in there. So, hey, absolutely. And yes, you're very welcome. We appreciate you doing this, and much success to you there with that. I think it's going to be awesome. And you know what? I think we're going to have you on and talk about the book one day. Tell us about the book and tell us about how you became a writer. Something I never, didn't realize that we had another Zonian writer now.
Zonian writer, yes. And as the night goes on, we'll put up her link on Amazon so you guys can help out and purchase one of her books.
Yeah, and generally feel free to throw it in the chat. Type in the chat the address there. I've got it here, but let me try and get it pulled up here if I can.
And the book is just not about storytelling. It's got a little psychology in it, in my opinion, because it talks about how children can cope with grandfather's passing, etc.
Sure.
So it's a book. It's got a lot of different layers to it. The Canal Zone layer is great. There's a part there about military burial, and that would be what goes on there at Cardenas. Was it Corzel Cemetery?
Yep. And there it is. There's the website address. You can go and find it there, and spread the word. If you know somebody else that could use a good reading like this, by all means, send
grandfathers
that
especially, so you can learn, get that connection with your grandkids.
Absolutely. And there's Mr. Ranson, Steve Ranson. Say hi at sports coverage tonight, but I'm envious of the set. Yeah, I know, right? Well, in Florida, I'm telling you, it's in the 30s, and you saw Jim just chimed in a moment ago here, Jim Bradley, that it's 27 inland there. So yeah, man, it's cold, but we'll complain when it gets hot as well. It is what it is. It's
77 in Panama. That's actually really good. That's really nice. That's great weather.
Yeah, no. Steve's in Vegas. He's out in Nevada. He wasn't able to make it to Panama this year, but he is planning on making it out to Orlando in the summer for the reunion in Orlando. So should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing him there.
Vegas right now is in the tens, really cold in Vegas right now, man.
It's funny, you go out to the desert and you always assume it's hot, but the thing about deserts is that there's nothing to insulate it either to keep any warmth that you have in. So once the sun goes down, poof, it's gone, man. So even in the summertime, deserts are pretty cool. It's not it's not cold, but in the wintertime, it's definitely a cold place, man. Anyhow, cool. Let's just say hello to a couple of other people here, and then we'll go ahead and move on here. Chris, what do you got? Definitely looking forward to seeing you as well. That's all right. Well, hold on. This is between Chris and Keith here, so we'll let them continue to say their hellos and stuff. Jenny Lee's class of '94, right on.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I think her brother that it had to be class of '91 or '92.
Yes, yeah, Rick.
Yeah, Rick, man, good,
yeah,
really
he was
good football player.
We'll go to the reunion next week after the wedding. Yes, yeah, congratulations. Yes, he put in here just a moment ago, Jim and Diane, their grandson and getting married, their granddaughter is getting married in Panama. So congratulations to you guys. That's awesome.
Casco Viejo, very nice.
Yep. What a great way to start your life together in a wonderful place like that.
At that one Golden Altar church. Hey, Steve.
I know, right?
Very
yeah.
expensive. Yes, that's what I hear, like $4.
Yeah, they're very, very inexpensive. Honest to God, they're it's and again, we don't want to cut Uber and Ricky out, so make sure you stick with Uber there. Don't try and do a side gig on these guys. But it is. I mean, honestly, I remember.
I'll tell you what. Listen, the new pilot list, they're all over San Francisco. You have to have a certain credit rating to be able to use these. So I don't want to jinx my my thing with not be saying, no, you can't join. You can't use.
You're gonna be like China. You got a bad social credit score, man.
Correct,
you can't travel. You can't buy tickets.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. They have one that's called Xbox or something like that. It's just like a little, truly, it's like a box with 4 wheels. There's no like front end or
right.
It's just a box with 4 wheels and a real comfortable sofa and chairs in there. And that's the one that you have to have. You have to join and be accepted to be able to use that one.
Well, they have that Waymo is pretty big out west a lot. They just started here in Tampa
Right on.
And now I saw a story the other day in the news, and I don't think it was here in Tampa. I don't know where it was, but somebody was in one of those Waymo cars, and next thing you know, it went up on railroad tracks, and it was going down the tracks, and the train was coming. They had to jump out of the car because it was going to go down the tracks, man. So
Yeah, no, here like one of every 3 cars is a Waymo. You
Yeah,
know, it's
it's-
like, but I tell you who they're knocking out is Uber. That's who they're knocking
well,
out.
sure,
Yeah.
sure, because you don't have to have a driver, and you don't have
Yeah.
you never get the attitude, the problems, and whatnot.
Yeah.
I when I was out in Arizona for work, I was gonna take one, but I was like, meh. No.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. Andrew F. Tomanis is coming out here in a couple of weeks, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do all the. There's like 3 or 4 different car companies now.
Right.
We're gonna do a couple of Waymo. For
Yeah,
sure,
I watched a video the other day on CES, the big electronic show in Vegas, and they said that was one of the things was the amount of autonomous vehicles that are out there. There was about almost a half dozen different ones, and there's not the companies you know of. I mean, these are all unheard of companies.
These are all
but they're-
tech companies. But yeah, I mean the future's here, guys. I mean, owning a car. Some people say in 10 years you're not going to be able to own a car because there just won't be any for you to purchase or everything is going to be in 10 years. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not
That's
sure
what
if
they're
that's
saying,
true or
though.
not. Although I always did find that interesting that when my kids got to the age to be able to start driving, they weren't in a hurry to do it, man. I mean, they weren't even in a hurry to even get their driver's license, man. But when I was old enough, and Panama old enough, right? Like 15, 16, when you can get your friends to help you out or whatever. But here in the States, it seems like that wasn't the thing. And, one of the things that made America great back in the day and why the whole interstate system became so wonderful is America's love for cars and love for freedom to move around the country and just drive everywhere. And that's, when you start taking that ability away from people, it's, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. But
It's interesting.
It's moving fast. Guys, there's
But it is.
little news coming out of the Canal. Speaking of Andrew, Willie. But this is strange to me. So maybe I'm reading the news wrong or doing the math wrong, but 1,075 transit went through the Panama Canal in December. Now that sounds like a ginormous number, right? 1,075. So you divide that into 31 days, and that comes out to 35 ships a day. Now, how many were going through when it was just the one, our canal? Wasn't it like 34, 32? So
Hold on. Somebody's checking on the whole music thing again. Mike said he heard. We had it earlier. We had that issue. Let me double check something here.
wow, I can't
No,
believe it.
no, it's good. I just checked. I just went into YouTube. It's good.
Yeah.
So
all right. Sorry,
unless you
guys,
just
man.
maybe Mike just started playing. It's been doing that for a bit. He may be behind, but the chat doesn't necessarily start from behind. He may have thrown something in the chat, but he may have chimed in late and he's watching it from the beginning of the show. Hopefully
Got you. Sorry, guys. God, like I said, 1 hour before the show, everything's perfect. So
and the funny
anyway,
thing
so
is, we didn't hear it
30
before the show started. We didn't hear any of that music.
Yeah, and it was me playing.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Thank you, Lee.
Sorry.
No, we're
So
good.
anyway, 35 ships a day. Now, they got a new canal. You thought they would be go from 34 to 50 or, So they just went up too. But Willie and I were analyzing it, and it probably seems like the ships that are going through are obviously a lot heavier, and that's where the extra revenue's coming from. In my that's the only thing I can figure out. But
Could be.
35 ships a day are going through the three sets of locks. And let's see what else we got here news-wise. Our ambassador has been working hard to, and he's done a good job. The U.S. ambassador in Panama. Panama now is this close to having a visa waiver. Now, how do countries get visa waiver? Chile is like the only country on the Western Hemisphere that has a visa
For
waiver
now.
in the United States. For now. Panama is the next one. Now, there's a couple of reasons how they determine this. Not just like favors, right? One is how many of your citizens overstay their visas. Panama is less than 0.5%. So in other words, Panamanians go to the United States and they come right back home. Nobody hangs around. That's one of the reasons. And then the other reason is less than 4% of the visa applicants are turned away. In other words, the Panamanians meet all the criterias. I don't really know what the criteria is. I think you have to have like money in the bank and someone you know there, or somebody that sponsors you. But whatever it is, Panama is one of the lowest that gets turned away for visa. So you guys know that I always promote Panama to be the 51st state, but
right.
This is kind of a step closer to that crazy mentality of mine.
So real quick, well, piggybacking off of what you were just talking about. So I was looking that up while you were talking there about the amount of transit stuff, and it says. So I went back to 77. When was what the numbers were in 77 when the treaty kicked in and was signed, and it said that they were averaging between 10,000 and 12,000 a year. So it's gone up, but not significantly, in that amount of time, considering there's an extra canal. But to Ricky's point, the ships are much larger now, so that could be interesting. But here's another real interesting one here, okay? Since it opened in 1914, more than 1 million ships from all over the world have transited the canal, okay? The historic millionth mark was reached when? And I know people are going to frantically Google it right now, but if somebody knows off the top of their head, take a quick guess. I know we have that 8-second lag here, so we got to, kind of figure it out here. But since 1914, over 1 million ships have transited, and the millionth ship occurred when? It's been a while. I will say that much. Okay, it's not anything recent. It's been
that's
but
a tough one for anybody to remember. Yes,
well, think about what era. What
era? I would say, I do recall that there being a news about that. I would say within the last 5 years.
No,
yeah? No, longer
than that. I'll say this: it was after 2000 for sure.
I do remember there was some kind of celebration, or it was like a Chinese boat that went through that got the 2014, according to our
Leaf 2014. No, it's a little bit before that, but you're getting close there, Leaf.
Yeah, no, all right. Well, right
1964. On. No, that's too far back there. Actually, it was on September 4th of 2010 that the millionth ship went through the Panama Canal. That's amazing. That's a lot of ships, man. I mean, 1 million ships, guys. That's a lot, man.
2010 was 15 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a bit. It's been a bit.
Yes. Well, like Lee likes to remind us, and we have been reminding all our viewers, the tree burn, a very, very Canal Zone tradition, is happening in Cardenas this Saturday. So all you folks down there, don't forget.
Tomorrow, 17th, which by the way is to celebrate.
Bring your tree if you still have it, because I did see a post about that they needed trees. So I guess they're not doing what the kids did back in the day.
That's the thing, man. You got to have more Zonians down there, man, because we can get some trees. Let me tell you.
We got some trees, yeah. But anyway, so they still get it. It's still a lot.
And by the way, when you're out there doing your tree burning stuff, enjoy it. It'll be January 17th tomorrow. Say hello and happy birthday to my mom up in heaven. That's her birthday's on the 17th.
Absolutely, yes. But, and we got birthdays coming up next week too. Quick little birthdays. Willie and I are going to try to stay away from, just going down this ginormous list of all our high school friends.
It does. It gets long, man. And it's kind of fun, but it's, it's a little bit, a lot of work for just a little bit of fun, but we may try and do something. Who knows? If anything, it was just fun to have that song, if nothing else, because it was a cool.
All right, Willie, since we had such a rough start and we haven't done our show the way we like it, through all the segments, let's go. What do you think we jump into our dictionary and,
our Canal Zone dictionary? We should, man, because we have a lot of some cool stuff here. Like I said, there's a new way to gracias, Leaf, appreciate you, brother. There's AI is just amazing. There's new tools coming out all the time, and this one that I've come across recently called Notebook LM, I've absolutely fallen madly in love with it because it's an amazing tool to create things and stuff, mostly to research. And so what we've done is the thing about this Notebook LM is, unlike most other AI tools, this one gives you the opportunity to do research only within sources that you select, right? Versus going out there and finding stuff, because there's a term in AI now called hallucination. And what it is that sometimes you get responses from the AI, the ChatGPTs, Geminis, and all those of the world. And you can find this out, especially as a Zonian. You ask it a question that's a Zonian question. And sometimes you get an answer, you're like, that is not even close, man. And turns out that's what's called a hallucination, that the AI is looking at so much information and so much noise out there that sometimes it finds the wrong information. So the cool thing about Notebook LM is that you actually upload the sources that you want to research.
Correct. So
right?
it's not all over the place.
Exactly. And so what we did is we took the book there, the dictionary, plugged it in, and it now generates quizzes for us, infographics and everything. So it's going to be a little bit more of a little bit more engaging way of doing things here. So yeah, let's definitely kick that off here. Our Canal Zone dictionary.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Balboa Yacht Club, this is Canal Zone Dictionary. In the blue corner,
he's tougher than a Chiva bus ride in the rainy season. Sharper than Sosa Hill sawgrass. As a kid, he almost ran the length of El Prado. Ricky, the Capira Kid. Royo!
And in the red corner, faster than a PCC rotary phone, cooler than a Panama beer with no ice, set a record for 11 straight weeks of being sent to the principal's office at St. Mary's.
Willie, the goat of the goalpost. Benninghoff.
2 Zonians, 1 dictionary, no guessing. Well, I mean, you might want to guess. Anyway, only definitions and glory. Are you ready to hear Ricky and Willie say some amazing, magniloquent responses, and in some cases, just plain horse manure? Let's get ready for Canal Zone Dictionary. Ladies and gentlemen of the Balboa Yacht Club.
Sorry about that. We have a little bit of a loop there.
Oh, you're getting ready.
Like everything else, nothing's gonna work right tonight here. So, but that's just the way we roll.
It's funny because I have a couple of my stateside friends are like, you guys make a lot of mistakes, this and that on your show. And I'm like, yeah, we do, but our audience are a Canal Zone audience, and we love us. We don't really expect all perfection all the time. We give a lot of mulligans.
They know us well, man. They certainly can't expect perfection.
Willie, he grabs his phone and makes a note to himself: allow more mulligans in your life.
Yeah, it's true. You said that. I was like, man, that is spot on, dude. That is spot on advice. Allow yourself more mulligans, because we do. Every Friday night, Ricky and I each come in with about a half dozen mulligans, so we're covered, man. No matter what we are,
We try so hard for everything to work perfectly, but as you know, live shows are tricky, guys.
Let me tell you what, when it comes to like golf tournaments, right? A lot of times golf tournaments are like fundraisers and whatnot, and a lot of times you can buy mulligans. That's one of the things. You buy mulligans, and that's where I'll fundraise the shit out of stuff, because I'll buy a bunch of mulligans, man. I'll take them all the time, man. And if not, I'll have to make up my own here. But
so yeah, life's about giving yourself several mulligans more than you think you deserve.
Yes, indeed. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and kick this off then. So what we've done is we've taken that's exactly it. Perfection is boring, man. It's kind of lame. Not that I know a whole lot about it, but
it's too hard for the Zonians, man. We live with our mulligans. Anyways, thank you guys. We do appreciate the support.
Yeah,
even though,
absolutely.
We do have these technical problems.
No, but so what we do now though is we've taken the book, and what we're talking about here is Carl Berg's Dictionary of the Canal Zone and Panama area. It's a great dictionary. It's just absolutely jam packed with words that are unique to us. There's some of them are common words that everybody knows, but others are like, wow, I didn't know that. It was kind of cool.
Banana paper.
Banana paper, exactly. And so, but when we were doing this before, it was kind of fun, but it's to just read a question, what does this mean? I don't know what that means, and we try to make it a little bit more fun.
It was fun. We had a lot of fun. This is why we stepped it up, and now we're going to see what 2.0 looks like. And it's actually pretty good, guys. You guys can enjoy this because you guys it's more interactive with the viewers.
Correct, and it gives you a question that has an opportunity for more. How would I say, more information, right? And so because part of it is a lot of things that we've come to know about this show is that we do learn a lot about the things that we took for granted in the zone. And so
and let me tell you the history of the Panama Canal, from 1903, etc. I mean, that's becoming very popular if you follow
It is.
social media
Absolutely.
in Panama. You know, everybody's jumping on this bandwagon, talking about it. And yeah, let's get going, because otherwise we're gonna be bochinchando all night again.
Yeah, so what we've done is we've grabbed like 6 or 7 of them that we thought would be fun ones here, and then we can, share some cool information about them. So let's go ahead and start with the first one here. Okay,
Yay.
so the motto inscribed on the official seal of the Canal Zone is A, the land divided, the world united; B, crossroads of the world; C, funnel for world commerce; or D, a man, a plan, a canal, Panama.
Those are all good. I mean, I thought that was almost going to be an easy one.
Right?
Let's see what everybody thinks.
So what do y'all
I'll go
think in
with
there?
A.
Is it, because I mean, all of those are actually
I know
familiar,
A.
including, I think the one we can obviously eliminate is the last one, right?
A man, a plan, a canal. Oh, that was a book.
That was a book, but it's a
C,
very
keep
cool,
Jordan,
and I
yeah,
forget what the
funnel.
term for that phrase is, but is it where you can flip it and it's exactly the same? If you take that phrase and flip the letters around, it says the same thing. A man, a plan, a canal.
No, yes, that's it. Actually, I always do crosswords, and that word is always in the crosswords.
Yes. So you can see if you look at it backwards,
Oh.
a man, a plan, it's
I
all
just
right
did.
there.
That's pretty good.
It is amazing how that works.
That's what I thought too. A seemed too obvious. The land divided, the world united. I think that was more like the bridge. That's a good one, Willie. Right on.
Yeah. So let me
Mr.
see here. So we've got a
Answers.
couple of ideas out here. We got Leaf is going with A. Coach is going with C. Let's see here. Vern's going to go with A. Lori is going to go with C. Kevin Barsness is A. Eric A. Okay, so let's see what it is. So on that one then, the answer is the land divided, the world united. So I believe that was A, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, the land divided, the world united. A is correct.
Oh, I got it right.
So
on.
funnel for world commerce. So you can see that on the little license plate that you have up here. That's what was on the license plate. So you saw some of these, you're like, maybe it's that one, because they sounded familiar, but it wasn't. That was a funnel for world commerce was that one. Let me see what else here. Crossroads of the world. That one appeared in a couple different places as well, but it wasn't, I don't think, a formal one there.
And divide the world united. Well, that was a guess on my part. Well, let's see what it says. While strongly associated, categorized as a promotional slogan, not the official motto.
Which was funnel for world commerce. That was a slogan of theirs, but it wasn't the official one, right? The official one, the land divided, the world united, it said it's inscribed on the official seal, explicitly defined as the one official motto of the American era Canal Zone. Okay? A seal of distinction designed by Tiffany and Company, featuring a ship in the Culebra cut under the rising sun. And I probably should have put a picture of the seal there actually instead of this goofy one that it came up with, but anyway.
It's our AI.
And then, of course, and interesting here, retired October 1st, 1979, with the abolition of the Canal Zone.
October 1st.
Okay.
No way.
And then now another one there, Republic of Panama, Pro Mundo y Beneficio. That's their slogan or their motto, which means for the benefit of the world.
Yes.
Pro Mundo y Beneficio.
And it's always been like that since the 1500s.
There you go. And look at this. Eric, thank you for chiming in. B, which, and again, B was which one again? It was Crossroads of the World. That was on Pan Canal Company seal. Okay, right on. There you go. Look at that. Always learning something here, guys. Right on. Very cool. Okay. All right, moving on. Next one then.
That was good.
What event prompted the U.S. to abandon the Third Locks project in the middle of 1942?
That would be like the French Cut on the Pacific side, and on the west side, what? That's the one that went down those rivers that we've talked about, Willie.
That's interesting. I forget now.
Well, our viewers are chiming in. They always do.
Yeah, Vern's here.
Especially
Vern, our Atlantic
insiders.
side correspondent here. He should chime in on that, hopefully. But so anyway, so which one prompted the closing of the locks? The Great Depression, the demands of World War II, a series of major landslides in the new excavations, or the signing of a new treaty with Panama? Because we have learned that several treaties were signed between Panama and the United States between 1903 in 1977.
That is correct. Yeah.
Right? It wasn't just the one treaty at the beginning and the one at the end there.
This is a tough one, but if I had to guess, Willie, because they're all great answers. See, this is, you're right. This is a lot better than the way we were running it.
It does. It makes it more engaging. It makes you think a little bit. It really gives it context. And again, this is that notebook LM. It only is pulling information from that book.
And we want to thank.
But then it's using its intelligence to then build this other piece. So that's kind of cool, But so most people are saying B, the demands of World War II, and that kind of makes sense. The Great Depression actually was in the 30s, right? So that wouldn't be the one. Landslides might have been one of those because that was a big problem for a long time. In fact, next month, I'm still waiting to get it confirmed, but next month we're going to have a gentleman from the dredging division that operated those big dredges. Yeah, Wiskowski's going to join us, and Wayne Wiskowski, and he operated one of those big, the Hercules, I think, or one of those. But that was a big deal. That was the one constant you had in the canal, both during construction and post-construction, is always dredging, because it's the rainforest, man. You're going to have landslides all the time. So anyway,
good to learn about that.
Let's see here. So the answer is World War II. That is correct. Yes, that is what stopped it. There was obviously more priorities in the world, not just in the United States, but during World War II. But some really interesting things that came about with this third locks project that we don't really know a lot about here, but I'm sure that this will inspire our Canals One historian Dave Dahlstrom to do some research on this and come up with something for us here, because some cool stuff here. Authorized by Congress in 1939 to add a third lock. Some of this is the funny part of AI. Sometimes you get a lot of misprints on here, but a third lock for ships too large for the original waterway. Okay, and the original waterway of 1814, they said. So again, they're a little bit off there by about 100 years on that one. They broke ground in July of 1940 with significant excavation. Ricky's nodding no. Yes, no, maybe?
No, I'm not going.
Okay. Investment of $277 million, which again, a phenomenal amount of money at that time, in that era. Cool. Some other interesting things that we learned about this. Because of this new locks project, just like the previous one, they had a huge influx of labor, right? And so they were looking at a massive housing force, a workforce coming in. So they developed some new town sites. Diablo Heights and Coakley came about because of the new locks. Wow. Okay, that's on the Pacific side. On the Atlantic side, Margarita, and a place which I'm not sure is around anymore unless they change the name of it. Maybe Vern can chime in on that. But a place called Chagres, which was a silver rate thing, which again I'm not sure if that's correct.
Silver roll, I'm sure that's what they meant. Silver roll.
It might be, but was the silver roll still going on in the 40s?
Oh, good question. I doubt it.
So,
but
wait,
again, when did no?
Well, I got to find out when La Boca became the new La Boca, right? Because that's kind of an indicator. I think that kind of, as those that went away, is I think maybe when silver and gold rolls had gone away. But anyhow, we'll see there. 1942, it ended abruptly because of the war, of course. The permanent legacy. This is kind of cool, right? The cut, as we know there, and as you see the name there, guys, Bud Tristano. If you don't know yet, check this guy out on YouTube. He's been on our show. Bud Tristano was stationed in Howard Air Force Base. He was an Air Force guy, and he was also an avid camera guy, film and video and photos. And he made the best of his stay in Howard because he traveled all around Panama and filmed stuff, including cuts. You've seen pictures of the slide. You've seen videos, like very iconic videos. More than likely, if you've seen a video of the slide on YouTube, you've seen Bud Tristano's video because it's a very, very popular one, very common one. But yeah, that was one of the places that was left as a cut. We often looked at it as the French cut, right? We would have called it a French cut. Turns out it wasn't the French cut. That was the U.S.'s attempt at that third cut. And Vern's chiming in now saying that he's not sure. We'll find out, though. When we get you back on, Vern, we're gonna make sure you do a little bit of research there and homework for us and find out about that
what
one.
The Chagres town is.
But yeah, find out what the name of that town was. So.
Yeah, you know what? Growing up, Willie, the way I always thought that what the third locks was, it was done for World War II. That in case the locks were blown up, and then if you recall, there was only a little strip of land that divided that lock, And that strip of land is what took you out to the motorcycle tracks.
Correct.
So I always grew up thinking that was in case the locks were blown up, they would just knock out that center, and then the ships would be able to go out that way.
Yeah,
Which made sense, but
it does, except it wouldn't work here because remember, this is not a sea level canal. All that water will be rushing out.
Oh yeah, constantly.
And that was the concern.
Clear out the lake.
Absolutely, and that was the huge concern with defending the Panama Canal, right? And if Andrew Midas is able to get that Defense Canal Museum going, that's going to be a center point of that whole story. Was the fact that the United States, like everybody else, knew you blow up those locks and create a leak, that water will come out of there, and it will take years for that canal to be reinstated, because
you're right.
That took a long time for that. And remember, you don't have water year round. It's one of the reasons why they're adding that new lake now, that the expansion, because during the dry season the water levels drop big time, and this entire canal depends on water 100%. It does not operate on anything but water and gravity, and so if you don't have enough water in that lake, then the canal stops.
The inhabitants of Panama, that's drinking water as well.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's
so yeah, it makes sense that what we grew up thinking, the bochinche we grew up thinking was never true. It was all
right, of course. Like a lot of things in the zone, we were there, but we never learned about it. It was we learned about everywhere else in the world and in the U.S., but not here. So, but it was some interesting things that we learned about that third locks project. Obviously, now we know the newer set of third locks was built and completed in 2016 or whatever, and that now has those new mega locks that they're so big they don't even use the mules anymore, right? Those ships go in and under their own power or with tugs on occasion as necessary, but they're basically big giant pools for these ships to transfer. And on the Pacific side, it covers both the Miraflores and the Pedro Miguel locks. It's one system that gets you from there right to the Culebra Cut, right to the lake, and then to the one on the Atlantic side, Aguas Claras. So anyhow, so that was our second question. Number 3 now. The iconic statue of Vasco Núñez de Balboa in Panama, that's the one on Avenida Balboa, depicts the conquistador holding which 2 items? Is it a map and a compass, a musket and a Panamanian flag, a sword and a Spanish flag, or a globe and a cross? Remember, Spaniards were big about doing things in the name of God, and the whole, getting everybody to convert to Christianity and push that out. That was a really big deal.
If he was an architect, he'd have the map and the compass. So I'll scratch A out because I know he wasn't.
Vasco Núñez de Balboa, the architect, right? Or his cousin Vasco Núñez Vandelay.
I don't think it would be a map and a compass. That sounds more like engineers.
I think what we can rule out in the 1500s is a Panamanian flag. So I think B we can rule out.
Look at that.
I think we can rule that one out. That flag was a little bit.
We have seen flags that with David, that they try to use during Gran Colombia, and before it was a part of. While it was a part of Colombia as well, there was like different flags. So maybe that's what they meant. Maybe.
Well, let's find out which one it is.
Let's find out.
All right. So it is. Item 1 is the sword, held high in one hand, and item 2 is the Spanish flag in the other hand. Obviously, in a statue, it's hard to tell, but it's a safe bet because this guy's a conquistador. In other words, he is conquering lands on behalf of the royal family, the Queen of Spain or the King, whatever it was at the time. And so he's going to have their flag, and of course, the sword is, that's the conquest, right? So there you go.
The sword kind of represents a cross too, so it's got like all 3 things going there, yeah. The army, the church, and the.
And I'll tell you, this guy Balboa, just an amazing guy. The whole discovering the Pacific Ocean and whatnot. This guy is revered all the way up from California down to South America. That Balboa's name is.
Yeah, that is true. It's very big in Southern Cal, like the San Diego area.
Yeah, Balboa.
We actually have a Balboa High School here.
They do. It's funny. I'm sure many of you on social media have gone in and typed in Balboa High School looking for something, and you're like, who the hell are these people? It's like, sorry, wrong Balboa High School. Not the cool one, but hey, they decided to copy us and whatnot. But I'm sure they don't have a yearbook called the Zonians, so right there, they just totally lose coolness right there, right? So, all right, so let's move on to the next one here. This one's interesting here. This one is right up Ricky's alley as the architect here, right? Which of the following was a key architectural feature of the modern breezeway homes built in the Canal Zone starting in 1952? Okay. 3-story triangular shaped design, wood frame construction with extensive verandas, masonry exterior on a concrete slab, or corrugated sheet metal roofing and siding. Which one of those was a feature of the breezeway homes? That was the new style homes. In fact, when we get done with it, I'm going to show you my desktop has a picture, and it's a very high resolution picture of Balboa taken, I would say probably in the 30s or something. Ricky, remember the one I sent you? I put in the chat there. Yeah. And it's really cool because you can see the old Balboa before a lot of these new homes went in, and there are a lot of these breezeway homes in there. So, okay, a lot of people are saying A, the 3-story triangle shaped.
B, I didn't know. Wood frame construction extensive. Yeah, that's what I would go with B. But
B, the wood frame construction. So we got a lot of A's and a lot of B's on this one. Okay, hey Sherry, how's it going? Where's Sherry? Sherry's in. Hold on, she's in El Centro, California. There you go. She's near you there. She's in the southern part of the state, but
El Centro sounds like the center.
Maybe if somebody were bilingual around here, they would be able to figure that one out. But or from Capira, as we found here. Okay, so hold on. Vern's going to chime in here real quick. Found on Wiki, currently the ruins of Fort San Lorenzo and the Chagres Village site are contained within 30,000 acres of. Okay, so that Chagres town may be then. Part of the old family. Right on. Thank you, sir. Right on. That's our Atlantic side correspondent, Vern Couturier. They're chiming in. Right on. And he's thinking B as well. A lot of people think it's B, the wood frame construction with extensive verandas. Yeah. It makes sense, but here's a clue here, guys. Starting in 1952.
Clue.
Okay, the breezeway homes were built in the Canal Zone starting in 1952. When you look at these 3-story verandas and these wooden frame construction, all that stuff, that's a lot sooner than 1952. Okay, but anyhow, let's not speculate then. Let's just figure this one out here.
Concrete slab.
So the breezeway are.
Oh, that would have been a perfect. Oh yeah. Here I am, like to touch all the buttons, and I miss out on that.
All right, so the modern breezeway homes established 1952. Permanent masonry construction, durable exterior built directly on a concrete slab.
Oh, no way.
Think about, for example, I can think of in La Boca, for example. A lot of the homes in La Boca had those duplexes.
La Boca for sure, yes, yes. I was thinking more the one on the left-hand side, the chicken coop one.
Yes, chicken coops or bird houses. That's what I think that B, the wooden ones, or A, those 3-story triangular ones or whatever. But those were in there for a lot long before, right? Like our house in Los Rios. Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what those were.
Yeah. Cardenas has those houses too.
Yes. And so that was, the Canal Zone went through a big transformation in 1952. That wasn't a small, project there. There was a big section of the Canal Zone, both Atlantic and Pacific, that a lot of those wooden houses that you still saw them still around in Diablo. They had a lot of them. In Gavlin, in the Balboa Flats area there, you had a lot of them there as well still. Over by Eftimitis on Empire Street back there, where those guys are now. Had a lot of those.
Right. You are right. There's a few back there too. The Paynes grew up in those. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, a lot of the others were in 52 when they started going. I'll do it after we get done with these. I'll pull that one up, guys, so you can see it. Really,
the Empire has both those designs. That's the both designs for the Empire.
It sure does. It sure does. Well, a lot of them do. You think of in Gavlin, same thing. You go down if you go Amador Road past the police station, the second left. You go down that road. On the left-hand side was all those birdhouse ones, and on the right-hand side, that's where Tom Frost lived. Remember, who was it?
The
Mikey Knotts. Yes.
The single story. Yeah,
correct.
Those are the last ones they built.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes. Yeah, there was about 3 or 4 different style models they had. Single story, 2-story, single family, double, and all that stuff. But yeah, so there you go. That's breezeway homes in the 52.
That's cool.
All right. Culebra Cut. The massive excavation through the Continental Divide was renamed in 1915 in honor of which individual? Was it Teddy Roosevelt? Was it David Dubois Gaillard? Was it George W. Goethals? Or was it Philip Jean Bonaventure? Who was it? A, B, C, or D? The Culebra Cut was renamed in this person's honor. What are we thinking here? All right, we got 2 for B, Gaillard. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah.
It sounds like one there. That might be.
Felipe doesn't get any love in the Canal Zone, man. He should, but
he doesn't. You know, he's
so
always
hard.
associated with the. You're right. He's always associated with the French project, which for obvious reasons. But this is the one guy that said, you know what, we can't let this thing die, man.
Yeah, we can't let the gringos go, man. We need the gringos.
No, that's it.
God, he did so much for that to happen, and he doesn't get any love. I don't see any statues or
we didn't see anything. Right? Exactly. I wonder if anybody lived on Bonaventure Street. You know, I don't remember hearing that anywhere. You know. All right, we got a couple of C's now. There's a couple of C's saying it's George W. Goethals. All right, well, let's find out
those are all
who
big
it
names
is.
there.
Let's go with
Gaillard. Gaillard sounds almost right. There we go, David Gaillard.
Yeah, the Gaillard Cut.
Hell's
okay, the
Gorge.
man who tamed Hell's Gorge. Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy, Major David Dubois Gaillard, from 1859 to 1913, officer, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, key member of the final Isthmian Canal Commission. This guy was tasked with the Central Division. So they had Atlantic Division, Pacific Division, and they had Central Division. He was tasked with Central Division, overseeing a 31-mile stretch from Gatun Dam to Pedro Miguel Locks, which is amazing. You know, obviously a big portion of that was just going to be water because of Gatun Lake, but it seems like that's almost at the beginning of the Atlantic side and almost all the way to the Pacific side. But as it turns out, the big piece of that was the Culebra Cut and that Hell's Gorge, as they called it. Massive excavation effort, constant removal of, constant landslides. Check this out. Suffered extreme conditions. Daytime temperatures at the bottom of the dig could reach 120 degrees. And 120 degrees in that humidity has got to be brutal.
And no breeze.
Yeah, man. And plus all those steam engines and everything's running off of coal and everything else is just, brutal, man. Absolutely brutal.
Things, I don't mean to rag on it, but one of the things that I always hear when they compare the old locks to the new locks is,
right?
They show only the size of the locks, right? One is ginormous, the one's small, but nobody ever gives credit to that this work right here. That in today's world we probably couldn't do that because we couldn't fund it. Well, take Nicaragua for example; they can't fund that. Chinese canal. Well, and do that.
And to your point, Ricky, this was the biggest error on De Lesseps' part, was thinking that the Continental Divide was the same as the sand in Egypt.
Yeah. He was going to cut right through that like butter.
Nothing. We just get a bunch of people here, just shovels, and they'll dig that shit up, man. And what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
At first, it was by hand,
Because you had to dig down into this to get it to the level of the top of the lake. And then you had to dig down further because you remember the Gaillard Cut, the Culebra Cut, is level with the lake. It starts to descend when you get to Pedro Miguel Locks. That's your first descent, right? And then you go to Miraflores and you got your next 2 descents, and those are your 3 Pacific side ones. So that entire cut had to be, not only they cut down from a mountain down to the lake level, but then you got to cut below that for the channel for the ship to go through.
Yeah,
and it was rock. It wasn't dirt.
Uphill.
Correct. It was a mountain they cut through. Absolutely incredible. So anyway, some information here on Mr. Gaillard. Died from a brain tumor December 5th of 1919. Wow. So not long after the canal.
Yeah, that's
1913. No, it's 1919 it says here. Make more sense, I think. But the Culebra Cut renamed in 1915. The cut was officially renamed the Gaillard Cut to honor his dedicated service and leadership through the project's hard phase. Gaillard Highway was also named for him by a primary. It's a roadway on the Pacific side that runs from Ancon to Gamboa. Okay, yep, the Gaillard Highway. Remember that? And of course, they renamed that since then to Omar Torrijos Herrera Avenida. And the Culebra Cut was or the Gaylord cut was renamed back to Culebra cut, which I'm okay with that one. I mean, that one still honors Culebra and whatnot, but this is where, when Panama took over, and rightly so, it's their country now. They wanted to rename things, in honor of their people in their country, but these weren't necessarily honoring Americans per se. They were honoring canal people.
Engineers,
whether they were American, whether they were whatever, but it was just the fact that they were part of the canal construction. And I kind of feel like you should kind of keep that stuff, right? Because these guys dug a canal regardless of who owns it. They did an incredible job and made it an amazing sacrifice.
It's going to go back there, Willie. Like I said last week, the president of Panama said that, from here on out, we are teaching Panama Canal history to everybody at all
Makes
levels.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So once everybody gets this information and start putting it all together, they're going to say, they're not going to be like, no, we want it to be a poet's name. They're going to say, no, we're going to give it to the engineer.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. Honoring history. Absolutely.
Yes,
because it's a great history, guys. It's a wonderful history. And it's not necessarily an American history per se. It's a canal zone history. It's a Panama Canal history.
For world commerce.
And there was so many people involved. I mean, the percentage of Americans working on it was small. I mean, as far as the people that were actually building the canal. So it's not a history of Americans per se. It's a history of
86 countries built the canal, Willie. 86.
Yep. Okay, and then we got the date of his death wrong, December 5th, 1930. Okay, and Ricky did say that, so it looked like it was kind of a misprint there. They kind of wanted to, I think, but
I don't know how you don't see a 13 up there.
Yeah, I just maybe it's my dirty screen here. I did a little something there, but anyway. But thanks, Vern, for correcting that for us here. All right, so let's move on to the next question then. So, according to the dictionary, remember this is all from the Canal Zone dictionary, right? Yeah. According to the dictionary, which of the following best describes the traditional Panamanian preparation of a tortilla? Oh, and let me tell you what, man.
Oh, yeah, of course we got tortillas. The yellow ones.
Those yellow thick corn tortillas. So it's a thick pancake-sized yellow corn fritter with cheese inside, fried until crusty.
Ooh,
or a baked casserole dish made from layers of corn dough and seasoned meat. Ugh, that sounds nasty. Pretty sure it's not B. Okay. C, a sweet pastry made from corn, flour, sugar, and cinnamon served as dessert. Or D, a thin, flat, unleavened bread made from corn or wheat used for wraps.
Oh, for wraps? I was going to say hojaldra, but I don't think hojaldra
which sounds like the standard corn tortilla you get at a Mexican restaurant. Is what that sounds like. Unleavened.
This almost sounds like it needs to be a thick pancake-sized yellow corn fritter.
Well, according it sounds like Sherry's on the fence there. It didn't seem like she was too adamant about her answer, so I think she's just whatever. Leaves saying A. D? Vern is going to say D. Chris is going to say D. Okay, interesting here. All right. Well, let's see what that answer is.
Oh, where's that music?
I know where's Rick. I know Ricky just can't get that drum roll out for nothing, man. All right. So a Panamanian tortilla is a hearty yellow corn fritter. This staple of Panamanian diet is a fried corn cake, not a thin wrapper. Thick and pancake size, it is typically a round cake about a half-inch thick, crispy outside. Yes, it has a crunch, and what is it? Where I lost my train of thought there. Golden crust. Oh, well, it remains inside soft and tender. That is very true. That is what a tortilla is like. That picture really doesn't do it justice because the tortilla actually has a more even looking texture on top. It's more grainy, but it's not as lumpy as that.
Yeah, it's a little thinner too. It's delicious with cheese.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely. That's a savory. It really is, absolutely. Yeah. And then on the contrast, that Mexican tortilla, which is what most people will refer to as corn tortilla. Right, is that thin one, and I prefer the corn tortillas. The thing about the corn tortillas on the Mexican ones, they're very thin, they break easily, and that's why I think a lot of people like the flour tortillas.
Yeah, easier to wrap, roll, whatever.
And then here's another cool thing: some culinary cousins of the Panamanian tortilla. You've got the bollo. Okay, it's funny. My uncle, who Ricky's uncle knew very well because my uncle was ambassador of Panama during the time when Aristides was president. But this guy was, it's funny because, as a diplomat, he was an ambassador, right? And so obviously you got to present yourself obviously very proper and there's all formalities and everything. But let me tell you what, man, when that guy wasn't in a formal setting, the guy had the best sailor jokes in the world. I mean, they had F bombs in them, they had this, that, and the other. And so anytime I think of Boyo, and I won't even say what it was, but he held up a Boyo one time and just started out, and the whole family's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that." The kids are around and everything. So anyway, funny story. But a Boyos are really good. Boyo is the one that's wrapped in the banana leaf, okay, or a corn husk, but it's a cornmeal and they put meat and different stuff in it. To me, a Boyo, if it doesn't have like raisins and that stuff in it, it's not quite the same. But that's delicious. Of course, empanadas. Everybody knows what an empanada is. Most of the time, the empanadas are made out of flour, but you can use obviously cornmeal as well. Carimañola, that's a delicious one there. I love me some carimañolas.
The one that makes you fat as heck, man.
Yes, it does. But those things are delicious, man.
But they're delicious, yeah. I think those are the ones you can eat with ketchup, with the Maggi ketchup.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. You have to dip it in that. Yeah, for sure. Patacones, well, not corn based. They're flattened. It's the green plantains. Once they've gone yellow, forget about it. Then you get the plátanos a la tentación, which are the sweet ones that are fried or whatever. But and then an interesting one. Look on the bottom corner there, Chiriquí style. Okay, in Chiriquí, or like Ricky says, Chiriquí, they put the yellow cheese inside it. So when it fries, obviously it's all heated up and whatnot. So then you have that melted cheese piece in there. So
that sounds good, man.
It does, doesn't it?
I would almost stuff it with some, meat or something in there.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Well, check this
out.
Then
I think it'd be a carimañola if you start doing that.
Yeah.
Here's
a quickie on the dictionary, guys. What they use to wrap these tamales and all this other scrab bollo, what that was called? I'm just gonna tell you guys. It was called bijao or bijao, bijao, a low-growing, medium green banana-like leaf with a white powdery underside, preferred for wrapping tamales and such.
Interesting. So it's not a banana leaf. It just looks like one, though.
Looks like one. It's called bijao.
Okay, look at that. So now you know, guys, when you go down there.
Dictionary from our Canal Zone dictionary.
There you go. Absolutely. And now you're hungry. Yeah, of course, man. Absolutely. Panamanian food. Absolutely. You reminisce about that food, makes everybody hungry. All right. So moving along, then our next one. Carimañolas are hard to make. I'll bet they are, but they're delicious. You make those things, you're badass. And you can be driving home from the. Which one was the one that you used to get on the street? Obviously the meat on the stick, but hojaldras. You get hojaldras on the stick.
Hojaldras again with cheese for breakfast. Oh my God, you dip that. You know what, Willie? We should have somebody come on. One of the many chefs that we know that and just teach us how to do carimañolas and.
Well, remember Jason Cretides was doing some food stuff. Maybe we can get him to do that one with us. If not, who else is Frank Pereira would also. You know who else I should reach out to? A little older Zonian, but Susie Bierman Georges. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. But she cooks a lot of food. She posted a lot on Facebook and a lot of really, really good dishes and stuff. So maybe we'll get her on one day and show us how to do that. But that would be cool to do that, because I would like to learn how to do that.
Because I would do hojaldas for sure
and speaking of hojaldas, you know who back in the day at the baseball fields, remember the O'Connors took over the concessions?
At Fastledge, yes.
And they would make those pizzas. And they were hojaldas, and they put the pizza sauce on them. Oh my God, they were so good, man! Oh my God, they were so good.
Anybody that knows how to cook, let us know. We're bringing you on the show. We're doing a cooking show.
Karim is my next quest to conquer. Yeah, listen, I do too. I want to learn how to make those as well, man, because those things would be good. What about mafa, dude? That was the best. You could eat that all the time.
Kimmy. Yeah, mafa. I remember the dry. It was really
these are hard, but they would love to gnaw on those things, man. They didn't have a whole lot of flavor, but they were good. I mean, you could eat those things all day long, man. Yeah, absolutely. Piva. I never did like piva. Piva, I never cared for. The other one I didn't care for was what was the nonsense? Oh my God, I couldn't stand that shit, man. God, it was disgusting.
Yeah, you're right. Piva and nonsense were down the list, man.
That was nasty, man. 10 cents and then 25-cent meat on stick. You're selling carne for a cuara, man. It can't be costing too much.
Those are those howler monkeys.
Yeah, they had to be, man. The howler monkeys or something, man. All right, let's get out of the food area because I'm getting hungry myself too now.
I know.
All right, so the Amador Causeway.
Mhm.
It's an artificial breakwater, connects Fort
say.
Amador or Fort Grant, depending on how you're talking about it, to a group of 4 nearby islands. Which of the following is not one of the 4 islands? This is an easy one. It should be, you would think. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's close by. Could be part of the
Could be.
of the gig.
Could be.
Could
We'll
be.
fall down the culinary rabbit hole.
Obvious. Oh wait, no. B and
Yes, we
C
were
look
going
kind
down.
of tough. Yeah, Willie, man. I mean, thanks to Howler Monkey, we were able to get all this AI and
Yes.
be able to
Which
do
we
stuff
gotta.
like
We still
this and
gotta.
get these kinds of answers. Because Culebra and Toboga, you would almost think Toboga's a no-go, but then you have Culebra.
Which Culebra? When you think of Culebra, wait a minute.
It's over by Gamboa.
You're not Gaylord. You know.
Yeah. Of course, Flamengo and now, because we know those. So, yeah, BC, tough one.
Okay, well, most people are going with B, so let's go and see what we got here. Is there, we
Yeah,
getting
I
the
would
drum
have
roll
to go
still
B.
working here? Or is there still no
Chuleta,
drum roll? I'll do
I
it.
think it's this really long. Oh,
right.
Culebra is there. Wow.
There it is. So Culebra is really the offshoot of Naos Island. It's just like a little, I mean, almost can't even really call it a peninsula there. Actually, maybe that's what you could call it, as a peninsula, right? But then you have Perico Island, which is the one up in the middle there. And then the furthest one out is Flamenco, right?
Yeah.
Now, between Naos, Culebra, and Perico is where Amador Beach was, right? In that little section
on
there.
the backside. Yeah, I heard that Culebra now is that little cove there got filled in.
Oh, okay. Okay, that would make
So
sense.
it's all filled in right there now.
So it's all one big place now.
Yeah, Culebra now is like one,
Okay.
they're all together, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that peninsula would be the backside of Amador Beach.
Yep,
which we
that's
all went
exactly
to.
right. That's exactly right. So the construction of that causeway was built with spoil from Culebra Cut and from all that area there, and some rock from Sosa Hill was brought in there. A protective breakwater. Yeah, the currents in the Bay of Panama are very, very strong, and they would have had that channel washing out constantly. In fact, in some early photos of the causeway, when I was looking at some stuff to look at this stuff earlier, there's some shots of when they had just finished the causeway, and it's an area looking from Flamenco Island towards the canal. And you can see on the left side there in the channel, there's a lot of sand, a lot of banks in areas like between where the yacht club is and all that area there. So you could see that there's a lot of that washout from that current coming in on the Bay of Panama. And so they realized we got to put a breakwater there, and that's what the causeway ended up being, was that breakwater, so that you wouldn't have stuff constantly washing in there.
Yeah, and as we know from David, the railroad was supposed to go all the way out there. And
Yes, it
because
was.
they didn't make it, they had to pay $10 million penalty.
They sure did. That tells you how much money
Back
they're
in
making.
the
They're like, you know what,
day, too.
screw it. They're like, screw that, man. We're making enough money. We don't need to do that, you know. And
Yeah,
so
that would have really ruined it for us too growing up. Man,
Yeah.
the train going out there.
now here's something interesting that I think I've heard about this before, but I don't really truly recall. But it says that there was a Surfside Theater out there.
I do recall, like next to the Smithsonian.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You know
remember
what? I
that.
think you're right.
Yeah, I think I dated when I was dating Veronica Huffman. I think she did a play out there. I remember.
Because an amateur theatrical organization located on Naos Island that produced a variety of dramas and musicals. There's a little theater out there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. And that's kind of cool. That'd be interesting to find out. Maybe HB2 can find that out for us. And then, of course, now you have that big marina out there and whatnot. Listen, it's gotten so big now, guys. They have a cruise ship terminal there. And you get big ships in there, too. It's not little
Perico,
tiny stuff.
Yes.
You know?
I said the backs. It's between Perico and Flamenco.
And flamenco.
Right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot of that's filled in too.
Yeah.
That space in there's filled in.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's
some
changed. I mean,
great restaurants
listen, the
out
entire
there.
thing from the Amador side of the causeway all the way down. I mean, the causeway itself is twice as wide as it was when we were down there.
6-lane road to get
Yeah,
out there, right? Or is there still 4? I think it's
Let me
6.
tell you what, if there was a prized possession, I think outside of the canal that Panama got with this whole treaty, the causeway is the one thing that they really built up to be something. You know,
Yeah.
they just
There's some
took advantage,
hotels
full
out there,
advantage of it.
too.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah.
hotels out there. Yeah.
No, they've done well with that. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so that was our Canal Zone dictionary. It was kind of fun. it was.
I like this format.
Yeah, it really is, and it makes our job a lot easier because we just plug that in. And for example, I went into that Notebook LM and I said, I asked it to create me several quizzes, and I asked it to create me long quizzes, difficult quizzes, and like for example, one I said, give me a quiz that has everything to do with food. And it's all getting stuff out of the Canal Zone dictionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got like 27 questions all about food. So we can always pull out some fun questions about different food. I pulled out one about tortillas now, but it's a really good tool. And honestly, guys, if you're looking for a way to research anything, it is a fantastic tool, that Notebook LM. Amazing things that it can do for you.
Yeah, it does.
Really,
it does.
really cool.
And me on all the banana stuff. I got one more banana, by the way, before we go.
All right.
Banana Island. Where
Banana
is Banana
Island.
Island?
Let's see. Where is that at?
Anybody out there? Banana Island. Guys, on the Atlantic side. Because I know we got to get going here. It's on the Atlantic side, East Bank. A small island in the Gatun Lake between Fort Gulick waterfront and Zora Island. Now, people that paddle, remember when you went to the Gatun the second day, across the Gatun Lake, the hardest part of that was the Banana Channel.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Banana Island, Banana Channel. So
and I know Vern, when he's come on, has mentioned that his family would go out to the islands and stuff out there, and a lot of people had islands out there. You could remember we found out, Ricky,
right.
What was the price to rent those islands?
Oh, wait, yeah, I remember. That was dirt cheap.
It was dirt cheap.
Yeah, we used to go with our group, man. We used to go out there.
It was, like $15 or something, I think, to rent an island or something. Day or I forget how they did it, but that was
the lake.
Yes, Banana Channel. So yeah, that was interesting.
Right out Fort Gulick.
But
Fort Gulick is like up there by Margarita. Yeah, we remember. You guys remember we had Vern show us where Fort Gulick was, like a little hidden little town.
Yes.
Back on the side there.
I have something else that. Oh, in fact, that's what I was going to show you guys. Let me do that while we're fooling around here. But I also saw a whatchamacallit, with Google Earth, you can there's a feature on Google Earth where you can go back in time, right? There's a timeline on it, and unfortunately, if you go back too far, especially trying to go back to like the Canal Zone era, back into the 80s or 70s, the resolution is really, really poor. That we didn't have a lot of satellite maps, in those days, but it was some really cool, not up to that point, but prior to that point. And I was able to pull up where you can see Miraflores locks and Pedro Miguel locks, right? And I moved it to 1985 or 1990, whatever. I forget what it was, but it was 2009. I'm sorry, which is right before the new locks were starting to be built. Mm-hmm. And then I moved the slider to 2016 when they finished them, and then you move them back and forth, right? It goes to this picture, that picture, and it is incredible. That excavation, that new section there was a really big dig, man. I mean, it was they moved a lot of earth out of there. It's gigantic. It's amazing how big it is.
On the third locks, on the new locks.
Yeah, it looks really cool when you see the two. It gives you that perspective. You realize, wow, and all of a sudden, Miraflores and Pedro Miguel is like, wow, they are tiny compared to this thing.
No, it is, and that's the big flex. When they do the comparison,
absolutely.
They show the. And then I always say, come on, man, one side didn't have to build towns and hospitals
right.
and dig and ports and bring people in and
Now, check this out, guys. This is this picture I was telling you about. I sent this to Ricky. So we were talking about the homes, right? And we were talking about, the birdcage homes or those old wooden homes versus the new ones in 1952. This was taken, I think, in like 1936. Okay, this picture here. This is Balboa. Okay, because up there at the top you can see there's the admin up here. I mean, actually, that's Balboa Elementary. Up here's the admin, right?
There's
El Prado, there's Barnaby. So these buildings are the same, the Barnaby buildings, the El Prado buildings, but all of these buildings here, these are those old wooden structures.
Yeah, I lived there. I lived on.
But look at even the roads change, because that's not the way the roads were laid out when you guys were there, right?
No, right. No,
you do have what look like Las Cruces streets right here.
Right. Yeah.
You can see that, But
Carr, you can see Carr Street.
Yep.
But then the street that connects Carr Street to Balboa, that one's gone.
That one's gone, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
So it's really interesting here, but again, and look at all these other streets going through here. You had that little almost like a roundabout thing in here.
Was Carr Street, and then they put Owen Street where I grew up next to it, so it's not there on that picture.
Right.
Owen Street's not there.
Yeah, they redid all the roadways, and I mean
Las
they totally
Cruces
took
is there.
everything out. They looks like they tore up the roads and everything and started fresh.
Yeah, the KC, I see the KC still there,
Yeah.
and
But,
so is the Pilot Building.
It is. You can see the Union Church, the beginnings of that, but St. Mary's Church isn't quite there yet. The looked like maybe a rectory building or something is there. There's no Balboa Theater yet. You can see the clubhouse, but you don't see any Balboa Theater yet. You can see Balboa Pool, and you can see. Remember those old pictures of Balboa Pool, and you saw those old grandstands.
Yeah,
you can see them
the
facing
grandstand
right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You can see the
Yeah.
beginnings of
Stephen
Roosevelt
Circle.
Boulevard, the trees, all at the top there.
Yeah, Stephen Circle wasn't built yet either.
No, it wasn't.
What a great
You got the little
picture,
flagpole there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Morgan
really cool.
Avenue's good. Morgan Avenue's there.
Yeah, Morgan Avenue. That's the one that went. And listen, look at that road, and that ended up going right through the playground of Balboa Elementary.
Yeah,
eventually.
on the backside. That road was there when we were growing up. We could see that tar road. It was a tar
Yes,
road.
yes.
Yeah. Right on. Great picture, man.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool to see. Yeah, it was just something, it was just a little bit different. But I came across this, and it was very, very high resolution. I thought, wow, that'll be kind of something really cool to pull up and everything. So, but anyhow, it was interesting time. A lot different Canal Zone then than it was, and then of course in 1952 they decided to bring in those breezeway homes. Right, we just learned that today. They were all in the concrete slabs and all that cool stuff on them. So
that was a good one because nobody, not even me, thought it was. Only your sister got that. It was a concrete with masonry on concrete slab.
Yeah. Yep.
Right on, Jerry.
Way different, and they're very recognizable. As you can see, a lot of different neighborhoods had those type of houses. We did in Los Rios, we lived on Barnaby Street there, so we lived in those big concrete ones. On Amador Road, we lived on the ones on stilts, the old wooden houses on the stilts, and then we ended up in those new breezeway homes in Los Rios, man.
Yeah.
So
guys, AI at work. Look at our background. See. That's an iconic picture that everybody has seen, right? And
Yes.
look at what AI does to it. We got to put.
Well, when I get done. And I'll tell you what, Ricky, you know what really was cool with the AI when I was
fireworks.
working on James Slater's video for his song Guayabera. I have a guy that's flying down Sosa Hill. You can see a little dirt trail. He goes by that CZ Forever sign.
Yeah,
so it's going to look really
Lacey
awesome.
Celine was crazy going down.
Yes,
Sosa
yes.
Hill all the time.
But anyhow, guys, great show. Next week, don't forget, we're going to have Ted Henter on. He's going to have a great Zonian story, so don't miss that. But, Ricky, let's get out of here, man. It's getting late.
Yeah, there's my little AI Chivo. You see it going across? Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining up. We apologize for the beginning. We'll have to revisit those announcements. But we'll see you next week, guys. Love you very much.
Cheers, everybody. Take care. All right, let's get out of here.